Feast your eyes on the all-new second-generation Audi Q7, and I stress second generation because the previous was the first, remaining in production for 10 years and only receiving a few facelifts over the course of its life. I'm Christopher Gadget, and yes, I'm going to tell you more about it right now. Let's start by getting the powertrain out of the way. Taking this 4,938-pound car from 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds is Audi's very capable and responsive supercharged 3-liter V6, which produces 333 horsepower. It's mated to an 8-speed Tiptronic gearbox. Top speed, you ask? 130 miles per hour. Fuel economy is 1925 city highway or 21 combined, whereas the previous generation, which was fatter and less efficient, saw a 1622 city highway and 18 combined. So needless to say, a marked improvement. Assisting with comfort and drivability is an air suspension that can lower and raise the car depending on the scenario at hand. Ground clearance can top out at 9.6 inches, but that's not all. It can also be used to gain entry to the rear. Voila. Adding to this is four-wheel steering, which apparently improves stability on the highway, but more importantly reduces turning radius by quite a bit. And yes, all-wheel drive or Audi Quattro is standard. Now, if you haven't noticed, the outside of the Q7 has changed quite a bit, gone to the smooth, rounded lines replaced by sharp edges. The Audi grille has also seen an update in the same capacity, offering a stronger, bolder facade that I actually prefer over the previous Q7. However, this Q7 does feel low and long, giving it a slightly van-like look at certain angles. Nevertheless, it is sharp and high-end looking, even garnering compliments from one valet at Zankou Chicken in West LA. Love that chicken. On the inside, some might call this a sumptuous interior. Me, I call this game-changing. Audi has outdone itself, and while the leather is plush and the interior quiet and atmosphere comfortable, it actually begins with a few very notable tech upgrades. For starters, they finally built an intuitive climate control system that doesn't require you to touch the MMI system. 4 zones are available at the Prestige level, accessible via these beautiful machine knobs that house what look like mini OLED displays. Draw your eye up from there to the MMI system, and you'll find a crisp 8.3-inch color display that retracts in the car's dash when the ignition is off. And while it's arguably small for a vehicle of this size, the driver only needs to turn to the instrument cluster to find a 12.3-inch TFT screen that Audi calls a virtual cockpit. It can show speed, directions, and just about all the controls you'll need at your fingertips. And if that isn't enough, there is a HUD for miles per hour and turn-by-turn directions. But my money is on the virtual cockpit for usability, accessibility, and clarity. This is complemented by the presence of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You'll just need to plug in using a USB cord and you'll be off to the races. That said, my iPhone 6 worked without a hiccup and offered the usual range of apps and integration I've come to expect from the system. Now at this level, the Prestige, the top end of the packages, this Q7 comes with the Bose 3D sound system. That's 19 speakers at 558 watts. It sounds good, but not amazing. Though to be fair, to fill this much space is no easy feat and will satiate most, if not all, Q7 owners. And for those looking for more, there's an optional $5,000 Bang & Olufsen system. You know, the one with the retractable speakers. And speaking of space, the second row is adjustable, as is the third, which is to say they can be laid flat or raised back into place with the push of a button. Cargo space is 71.6 cubic feet behind the first row or 14.8 behind the third row. Other features include a handwriting MMI system complemented by the usual knob, and yes, it's still backwards. 2 USB ports for connectivity and power, Bluetooth, paddle shifters, though you likely won't use them, a panoramic roof, a garage door opener, though it wouldn't work with my system, 2 beverage holders, 12-way power front seats with heating and cooling, electric fold and return in the third row, cameras front, back, and on the sides provide a top view, blind spot monitoring, auto braking, and adaptive cruise control, with the latter contributing in tandem, of course, with lane assist to provide almost autonomous driving, though the system will nag you to put your hands back on the steering wheel if it detects congestion. But with that and its ability to read traffic signs, it can drive in traffic up to 37 miles per hour. Though for full disclosure, I'm not sure we ever got this to work properly. And if that isn't enough, this Audi apparently leverages the power of 4 NVIDIA Tegra processors. This allows the vehicle to talk among itself without any hiccups in speed, supporting the MMI system, safety features, air suspension, and more. Now you might be wondering how well the 2017 Q7 drives. The air suspension definitely lends itself to a smooth and comfortable cloud-like ride, offering adjustability ranging from comfort to dynamic, Audi's version of Spirited. However, even in the most aggressive setting, which lowers the vehicle, there's still body roll that makes the Q7 feel sometimes lethargic. Comparatively speaking, it doesn't drive nearly as well as the full-size Range Rover. But who am I kidding? That car, at least the version we drove last year, was twice the price, which is another way of saying our Q7, all in, with all the options, is $73,425.